Hi everybody, this is the Traveller's Rest House in Bulawayo. Quite nice, there's a pool there behind but the weather's not really pool weather, it's a bit cooler today. Um, so after Wange, the H is silent, we travelled on to Victoria Falls. See the photos of course, but yeah, it was seriously awesome. Place is dead, quiet, because with the border closed, no one's coming across. There's a special visa you can get called a CASA visa that allows you to visit Victoria Falls, Livingstone in Zambia, and Chobe National Park in Botswana. So I was supposed to cross the border at Kasane, where Chobe National Park is located. It's got a river Zambezi runs through there, and apparently the wildlife is spectacular. So that was my plan to go there, and it would have cost me a pittance to get there. But yesterday morning, when I went down to the border to try and suck up, and they wouldn't let me cross. So all the land borders in Zimbabwe are closed, and now air traffic from North Africa and Europe is not coming in either. So it's a worry. So I probably spent a week or more longer in these two countries than I planned to, because it's just not accessible to get out. Anyway, so I wasn't going to come back. I planned for Dave, my driver, to take us through to one day to Victoria Falls, and then bring Rachel back here so she could drive back to Kwekwe, where she lives. It's about 3 hours north of Bulawayo. And I was just going to walk across. I would have been in Kasane. I would have been doing my Chobe thing today, but or the Livingston Island. I was going to go out to Livingston Island, which is an island in the middle of the Zambezi near the waterfall, but that didn't happen. So before we left Livingston to come back here, which took about 6 hours to drive back, we went and looked at the falls, and it was fucking the amount of water flowing through there is huge, because there was a massive storm the night before as well. Like, it rained deluge all night. So we went to the falls, and I got wearing my shorts and t-shirt, and it's just fucking pissing down. And it's not just the rain, because they have pathways that run around there from the small fall to the big broad one. There's a pathway that runs around on the Zimbabwean side, so you can basically and it's all vegetation on both sides, so it tends to block a lot of the rain, which was okay. But once you move out of there onto the viewpoints, you've got spray coming up from the waterfalls, and then you've got the rain coming down. So within about 5 minutes, I was like soaked, really wet. Everything was soaked. My cameras, like both cameras were like had rainwater on the lenses, and I'm trying to dry them, and it was a nightmare. So a lot of my photos didn't work, but it was an awesome experience. I went to Iguazu Falls on the border of Panama, Brazil, and Argentina about 5 years ago. New Year's Eve it was. And that was pretty awesome. But this one was, it's hard to compare, but this one was awesome as well. I really, really, really enjoyed getting soaked yesterday. There was no one there. We were the only ones there. We had the whole place to ourselves, which is I find everywhere I go. In Wange, there were no people. A few people at the camping site near where we saw those lions rutting, or whatever the right word is for lions and having sex. So it was a very good day. It's been, Zimbabwe is a gem. It's corrupt, and its infrastructure is falling to pieces, and they're shooting wildlife to keep the rest of the wildlife alive, and there's so many things I dislike about it, and it's frustrating. they use the US dollar as a currency, and you can't get any small change. You end up having to buy. You want a can of Coke, you end up buying 6 so that you can actually change. But for the most part, it's a beautiful country, nice people. And I'm thinking maybe when I come back, I've got so many. Sitting and thinking about it yesterday, I've got so many contacts in so many countries around the world. I'll try and set up my own little travel business when I get back. Maybe just concentrate on one country, and then once it's up and running, and I know that people are enjoying the tours, because they have operators at this end. You just need to connect with them, and then like a lot of tour agencies in Australia are too expensive. There's no need for it. They just rip you off because the Hoffman and all those they get like 30 to 40% of every dollar. So it's a scam. So I was thinking I might set something up. Maybe just concentrate on the southern African countries first, and then maybe Central Asia after that, and Iran and places like that next. Just sort of, set up my own sort of little business that'll kick off. I think I've got all the right people, get people around. So you can do it from the high range people who are happy to throw away money for nothing, the middle range to backpacker level, and really it's more about the accommodation that determines the level, because really this place is $50 a night, and it's quite nice. It'd be perfect for mid-range, and they'd still get a lot better deal than what they would go through these shitty companies in Australia who just rape your ass. Anyway, so that's what I might do when I get home, a couple of years' time by the look of it. Well, that's as it is. So when I ride back here, I've booked a flight to Johannesburg. I'm staying in an airport transit hotel because I don't want to leave the airport and expose myself to COVID. I had another test yesterday. I've had about 14 now, and I'm still COVID free. But I don't want to expose myself to that South African strain if I can avoid it. So I'm going to stay in the transit hotel, reboard another flight in the morning to Gaborone, which is the capital of Botswana. And I've just found that the on flight to Kasane is not available. So I'll be in Gaborone a couple of nights. I'm going to try and find a driver to take me, like a safari driver or something, to take me into the Kalahari Desert Park. They have meerkats and desert dogs and stuff there. Might get lucky. So if I can arrange that today or tomorrow, and then as soon as I get off the plane, hopefully they can pick me up and take me straight out into the desert. The next flight is on the 14th. I just tried to book it, and at the last stage it fucked up, so I'm reluctant to. I'll wait a few hours to see if any emails come through, and then if they don't, then I'll rebook. I'll try and book it again. But I want to get into Kasane. The flight from Kasane goes via a place called Morne, which is on the Okavango Delta, which is one of the most, apparently, the most stunning wetlands in the world. Wildlife like you wouldn't believe. So I go to Kasane, spend a couple of nights there, then get a return flight to Morne. I've been in touch with some people in a youth hostel there that's shut, but they can arrange a driver for me to go around the Delta. A few days later, I want to spend 2 or 3 days there just going out on the Delta, but then after that they can arrange traffic for me, transport for me, to go around the Delta to the Panhandle, which is on the opposite side of the Delta near the border with Namibia. So he'll also stop along the way at a place called Siladero Hills. It's a World Heritage Site. San artwork. The Bushman. You remember that old movie where that bottle fell out of the aircraft and the Bushman thought it was from God or whatever. A lot of paintings. That's the area that the San are in, the Kalahari area, and that those hills has got a lot of paintings and stuff. So I'm going to go and check those out. Hard to get to because a lot of the Botswana is a high cost destination for travellers. So I'm trying to do it as cheap as I can in a time when travel is expensive and difficult because countries are closing down. Every time I turn around, there's another one shut down, or there's a bloody cyclone hit Mozambique, which has flooded half the south of the country. So there's shit going on everywhere. Rwandan Airlines have cancelled flights to southern Africa. Emirates have done the same. So there's an Airlink. South African Airlines almost went bankrupt. So it's difficult. Anyway, so once I get to the Delero Hills, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. It's a World Heritage Site. I will go there, and then I'll go to the border where I'm being picked up by a dude from another backpacker in another national park. So I'll go there, spend a day or two there doing some animal trips, and then he will drop me in a town further north in the, I'm not sure how you say this, Cavallari Strip, which is a strip of land that runs from it's part of Namibia, but it runs through, and south is Botswana, north is Angola and Zambia, and then on the far end is Zimbabwe. So it's like a skinny strip of land, not so long. So I get to a town there, and then I'll try and avoid buses, because you have 50 people on there. Surely a couple of them are sick. So when I get to the next town, the driver will take me there. I'll see if I can find a driver to run me through to Windhoek. Windhoek, is the capital of Namibia. I'm talking to someone there. She's arranging one of those four-wheel drive campers. The roof comes up, and it's too cheap. I can't believe how cheap it is. It's like 40 euros a day or something. It's insanely cheap. So I'll spend 10 days driving around the country from north to south. Visit Etosha National Park, which is the biggest in southern Africa. And shitloads of elephants, apparently. And drive all the way down to the Fish Canyon, or Fish River Canyon, which is down in the south of the country, close to the South African border. So I'll do a bit of a loop down and drive back, leave the car in Windhoek, and then I'll fly back to Johannesburg and link up and fly somewhere in Mozambique. Mozambique is thousands of kilometers long. It's a thin country, a bit like just trying to think of another example like that. Chile. So we're a bit like Chile. So I need to. This is getting a bit long. I'll leave it at that. I'll come back on Mozambique later. Anyway, today I'm having a bit of a lay around. I went to the doctor's today and got my license forms all stamped and filled out at some hospital around the corner. I've sent that back to Australia, so hopefully the bastards won't cancel my license. And that's pretty much it. So until the next time, and which will probably be somewhere in Botswana, country number 114 or something. 14, I think. 13, 14. Okay, bye.